Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into the annual shareholder meeting results for Axogen, a company focused on nerve repair. And trust me, after looking at the voting results, it seems the board definitely didn't need any sort of nerve regeneration when it came to getting re-elected. You'll see what I mean. We're looking at an 8K filing, which basically gives us a snapshot of important events. In this case, it's the results of Axogen's annual meeting, where shareholders got to vote on important things like electing directors and approving executive compensation. It's a big deal because it shows us what the owners of the company, the shareholders, think about how things are being run. Before we get into the details, if you find value in decoding corporate filings, make sure to subscribe and join our Discord community for even more in-depth discussions. The link is in the description below. So in June of 2025, Axogen held its annual shareholder meeting. A pretty solid chunk of shares were represented, about 37 million out of 45 million eligible. Let's get right into the important stuff, starting with who's running the show. First up, the election of directors. Shareholders voted to elect 8 directors to serve for another year. 8 names were on the ballot, including Paul Thomas, Michael Dale, and William Burke. While they all got elected, John Johnson got fewer 4 votes compared to the other directors. About 26 million votes for John versus the 30 to 31 million for the others. This might suggest a bit of shareholder hesitation even if he still made the cut. Maybe some folks weren't entirely thrilled with something he did, or maybe it was just random. Next, the shareholders voted to ratify or approve the appointment of Deloitte and Toussel as the company's independent auditors. This is pretty standard. It's about making sure the company's finances are being checked by an outside firm. Almost everyone voted in favour, so there's not much drama there. The vast majority, over 37 million shares, were cast for it. This tells us that investors are mostly on board with the company's finances are being checked by an outside firm. Almost everyone voted in favour, so there's not much drama there. The vast majority, over 37 million shares, were cast for it. This tells us that investors are mostly on board with the company's financial oversight. Then came the vote on executive compensation. This is where shareholders get to give an advisory, non-binding opinion on how much the top executives are getting paid. There was a bit more opposition here, and it's kind of interesting. While the vote still passed with around 28.7 million votes in favour, there were over 3.2 million votes against it. That's a pretty notable number of people saying they think the executives might be getting paid too much. Next, Axogen wanted to amend and restate their 2019 long-term incentive plan. This is about increasing the number of shares available for things like stock options, which are used to motivate and pay employees. The proposal to increase the shares from 10.55 million to 13.4 million was approved, but this also had a fair amount of opposition, a similar trend to the executive compensation votes. It passed with about 16.7 million votes for, but with over 15.2 million votes against. That's a pretty close call, meaning a lot of shareholders weren't too keen on handing out more stock options. Maybe they thought it would dilute the value of their existing shares too much. Finally, shareholders got to vote on how often they want to have this advisory vote on executive pay. The options every 1 year, every 2 years, or every 3 years. The shareholders voted for every 1 year the most, suggesting they want to keep a close eye on those compensation packages. All that's left is the exhibits, which are basically supporting documents. In this case, it's just an interactive data file. So what does this all mean? Well, it seems like most shareholders are generally happy with the direction of the company. The directors were re-elected and the auditor was approved without much fuss. However, the pushback on executive compensation and the incentive plan suggests there's a growing number of investors who are starting to question the company's pay practices. On the opportunities front, Axogen operates in a niche market with few direct competitors. As long as they continue to innovate and expand their product offerings, they should be able to maintain their market leadership. One area for improvement, though, is definitely investor relations. The company needs to do a better job of explaining its compensation policies and addressing shareholder concerns. Otherwise, they might face even stronger opposition in future votes. Alright, that's our breakdown of Axogen's annual meeting. What do you think about these voting results? Do you think the shareholders are right to be concerned about executive pay? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. Don't forget to join our Discord community for even more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.